Hey everyone, I know it's been a minute. I've been recording, I just haven't posted them. So when this one comes out, it'll come out before the other ones, and so timing may seem a little different. But today is August 8th, 2026. Sorry, August 8th. Wow, I'm thinking of the 8-8 portal. It's August 11th. Wow, it's August 11th. And it is the day before the solar eclipse in Leo, I believe, but it's the day before the solar eclipse. So my guides thought it was imperative for me to have this conversation with myself, but also with you guys. And we're going to be talking about divine partnerships. There was a journey that they sent me on for the last 9 months, and I didn't realize it until the day before yesterday, right? And it dumbfounded me because everything that everyone else says when it comes to like your divine partnership, like the way that it works out, it pans out, but to a certain degree. Again, everybody's path is different. Everybody's journey is a little different. It's very unique to them and whatever their souls needed to accomplish, this go around. But I'm going to do this as a story time. That's the best way that I can explain everything that has occurred. And my confirmation, I just seen there's this hawk flying around, so we're on a good path. Obatala is like, yep, this is what we're doing. So this is where this starts. If you've been following my journey, if you've been following my other videos, and you guys already kind of know how I got here, right? But I've been in no communication. I've been in separation, let's just say. I've been in separation. Not a toxic separation, but a separation that the universe instilled, because clearly there was things that we needed to learn. But I've been in separation from my divine partner since 2012, like the ending of 2012. Because that's when I got together with the karmic that I was with, shadow flame, if you will. Some other people know it by that term, but the karmic. And I went through what I went through with them. Clearly, if you watch the other videos, if you're not sure and this is your first time meeting me, then go back to the other videos and you'll hear the story and it'll make sense what I'm saying now. But I went through what I went through with them, separated from them. It took me, I was with them for like 11 years, so it was a very long time. And I separated from them the top of 2024. So it's been going on. In January, it'll be 3 years since I have been separated from the karmic, right? We're going to get to that in a second because this is part of the story time. So during that time, this 3 years, I've just been the universe has really been having me work on myself, work on my self-esteem, work on my strengths, work on my healing, work on, getting certain gifts together, spiritual gifts together, and what have you. But so that's what we've been working on. Deconstructed my life. I left a corporate job that I was at that was really, really stressful, and that job also was karmic. There's different things that I need to learn there as well too. However, even though these karmic situations and partnerships happen, there's always these lessons behind them, but there's also these skills that you pick up from them. And this is why, if you've been watching previous videos, my path is Ibukule with Oshun. I've had to go in the deep. I've had to go in the underworld. I've had to go near death, right, to understand my purpose, to understand my gifts, to understand X, Y, and Z, right? And so that we've been in the underworld for a very long time. So even though I was there, I picked up certain skills that helped me, that was meant to help me for the blessings that are coming forward, right? In hindsight. So we deconstructed my whole life. And in this whole time, I've been telepathically talking to my divine partner. I've been sending him Reiki. I've been all these different things to try to, really help our union, and, solidify a different energy, even though we are not, face to face, or, even though I haven't physically talked to him, texted, all that things, you know what I mean? And that is definitely divine intervention, because there's things that I need to learn, and I'm pretty sure there's still a lot of things that he needs to learn. Knowing myself, he's been put through the ringer, because I've been put through the ringer as well too. So we mirror each other. Your divine partner mirrors you, right? Okay. So here's where the story time comes in, and this is where we're telling of the different phases, right? You have that initial meeting where you guys, lock eyes. That's how it happened between me and my divine partner. We lock eyes, and, I automatically was told by my spirit team, this is your person. You know him, every single hair on my body, like my body's intuition and my regular intuition, all recognized him. We started talking to each other, and we saw how similar our lives have been up until that point. We had some differences of maybe some things some interests that we had, but everything still panned out. Everything still was like looking at myself, the male version of myself. Okay. So then once that happened, then came the whole toxic part of myself coming up, because I thought I had no way in chance with this man. And I'm pretty sure he could probably say the same thing as well for me. Even though at that time I could not believe that, because, my insecurities, and I had still a bunch of different karma I needed to fulfill. I still had old, software as far as, things that my parents have taught me from their toxicity. I still had to overcome that and break those karmic cycles for myself. But I wasn't sure how that was going to happen at that time. Now I know it happened through the karmic relationship that I was in for 11 years, because it mimicked my parents' relationship to a T, but like on crack, you know what I mean? Like on straight nasty crack, right? I had to go through that, and there was all these things popping up, so I sabotaged it. I'm pretty sure he did as well too, because we were doing childish shit, you know what I mean? Him picking a little fight to me being spiteful and all these different things, right? And the universe said, you already made your connection. The thread has already been tied. You can't undo it, no matter how much you try. I think it's time for you guys to go in separation, since you could work on your shit, right? And then that's when I got with the karmic relationship. But all through this, there was still this yearning, there was still this love, there was still this compassion, there was still this connection to my divine partner, which I didn't know that's what that was. I couldn't explain, like, I'm with this other relationship, I'm trying to make it work, but clearly my heart belongs, and my heart is with him, with my divine partner, right? I can't speak for him, but he felt the same way, because every time we came in contact with each other, as far as like in passing, there was this looking at each other through a glass wall that was bulletproof. And even though like both of us wanted to go and touch the wall and break through the wall, and the door was there, we knew that we would get electrocuted. I'm using it in metaphors. We knew that we would get electrocuted if either one of us touched that door at that current time, because it wasn't time for us, right? But there was still that longing, that hoping, that I know for me, I would talk to my guides and ask them to protect him, all these different things, you know what I mean? Even though I was going through the hellish shit that I was going through with the karmic, right? So once you've overcome and you've paid back whatever karmic debt, you've learned whatever lessons that needed to be learned, then the universe works on, like your guides work on releasing you from that karmic contract, because it's done. Now, depending on how long you guys have been together, or how long you've been in that karmic loop, the hard part comes, or the challenge is, getting out of it now. People get used to certain things, certain toxicities, and you having to fight to get yourself back. That's what I had to do. Fight to get myself back, and all these different things. And oh, look, a lotus flower. That's a big sign. I love lotus flowers. I have a bunch of them on me, but here's one right here. Right, so that's a great sign. Oh, here too. That's a big sign. It's a white lotus. Beautiful. So now you're fighting to get yourself back, so that you can get back to your homeostasis, if you will, or your divine energy that calls in your divine partner. You could get back to that, and now call your partner back in. Like, I'm ready, let's go. Right now, this may take some time, because you may be ready at a certain time, but then your partner still needs a little bit more time. So hence, that's where we're at this point. So the universe is like, all right, well, we can, I'm getting goosebumps right now. So we're on the right path here. Your guides are like, we need to give them a minute. So there's a few other things that you can clear up for yourself. Let's work on that right now. Bet. So that's where I was. And that's where I just finished right now. Sorry, confirmation yawn. So let's talk about that little in between. That little in between part is where you get a falsie. I'm gonna call it a falsie. But the falsie is where you think you've met someone that's close to your person, even though it's not your person. And it looks different for everybody else, but I'm going to tell you how it looked for me. That's the only way that I could explain it. It looks different for everybody else, but you get a falsie, and it looks like your person, but it's not your person. And this goes closely a little bit more to, like, if you haven't already met them, right? And you're just coming in now, and the universe said, do your karmic first and then meet your person. But for me, I met my person, then did my karma, then now going to get my person again. So this is how this works out. Story time. So what happened was this. In July of 2025, I had a show. And keep in mind, your actual person will kind of dip in real quick just to kind of see where the energy's at, or they'll need a triggering for them. So this is what this story is leading into. So in July of last year, 2025, I had a show. I had 2 shows, but I had already left my old job, and I was already deconstructing my life. But I had a show, and the first one was in June, and the second one was in July. But we're talking about the July show. So even through this whole time, I was having a really hard time. July, my birthday's in September, so for the last couple of years, especially with the karmic, June to September has always been rough for me. And this was during the time where the ex would literally, like, it was just ruining up until my birthday, having crazy ass arguments, fights, toxic shit happen, trauma, all these things. And it happened so much that I just got used to, okay, well, this is the energy during this time. It never used to be like that when I was younger, but I did have a lot of crazy shit happen to me during that summertime. So summer has always been a little bit hectic for me leading up into my birthday. But I was in my moods, and I was learning a new skill. I was learning a new dance, something that I've wanted to learn for years. And I was happy to be there, but it was just like, there was just so much shit that was happening. There was so much that was happening and so much that was unhappening and so much that was on pause. It was just a lot going on that I was like really like uptight that whole time. But I remember I was still working on calling in my person, my guy. And I remember wishing, I was trying to figure out ways to just get the message out to him one way or another that I'm having a show. And I was just hoping that the universe would bless me and, bring him there. It would just pop up, whether he came for another friend or whatever, he would just be there. He would just pop up. And I just kept thinking about it. But everything kept showing like it wasn't going to fucking happen. So I was in my moods. I had the show. Nobody came to the show. And that's not a, uncommon thing that has happened to me. It's just been the thing. I never support lacking, right? So we do the show and I'm in my moods and we finish it. The night comes, right? And we finished because we had a 6 o'clock show and an 8 o'clock show. So we finished the show and I said, we went back to the dressing room and I told like some of my dance members, the team that I was on. I was like, girl, I'm going to take my makeup off, right? Because it was hot as fuck that day. And one of the girls, she was like, you're going to take all your makeup off? Because I had like, my head was full of flowers, cowrie shells, a bunch of different things. Locks were up, full beat, you know what I mean? She was like, you're going to take all your makeup off? I was like, yeah, like, it's hot. And I'm about to go get some food because I haven't eaten, you know what I mean? And we just did two shows back to back. She was like, well, that's a lot of work. I wouldn't take off my makeup right now. And I thought about it. I was like, nah, she's right. That is a lot of work. And it's not like I had, like I could wash the rest of it off. I'm going to be smeared, you know what I mean, for a while. So I said, you know what? Fine. I did take my makeup off. I changed out of the, the costume that I was wearing. And, I got back into what I came in, the dress I came into. So I get all my stuff together. I go to leave. I leave the building and I'm standing out front of the building. And I'm just kind of you just kind of stare out into the abyss to get your mind ready. And mind you, where I was having the performance, it was close to where I used to live with my ex, right, with the karmic. So I didn't want to run into him because he's been energetically stalking me. He's been sending me all these different things, and this was right before I saw him. But I'm gonna get to that part in a second, because I did run into my ex again. I think I spoke about that in another thing, but that's August of 2025, right? Anyways, so I'm standing out there. I'm getting my iPod ready, my phone ready to listen to music, so I can just walk to go get the food and then get a cab. Oh, look, the crane! Another great sign. Wonderful. So, out there, and I look, and it's a really hot day, but I'm like, yo, there's a lot of garbage outside. Like, why is there so much garbage outside? Like, did they not take the garbage? I think it was like a Sunday or something like that. I think it was a Sunday. I think it was a Sunday. And there was so much garbage outside. And I was just like, what is going on? And there was this group of Caucasian people outside. They were kind of like, lollygagging, whatever, having their own thing, like their own, their own thing. I'm standing there and I'm like, wow, it's a lot. But I see 2 sanitation workers, and they're picking up garbage. But again, I can't see far, and also I've been sweating for like 4 or 5 hours, so I have sweat and makeup in my eyes. I already have a fuzzy left eye because I wear glasses. Don't ask me where they're at. They're in my house. I'm just struggling all over the place. But it's not like I could have danced with my glasses. But I couldn't really see. So I step down, I go to leave, and for some reason, I start to feel something. And I'm like, something's up. I don't know what it is, but something's up. I kind of brush it away because I'm like, let me go get my food. Maybe it's that. It's hot. Maybe it's that. All of a sudden, I hear this deep voice, this man's voice, call my name. And I stop. And then I feel exactly the exact thing my body's intuition felt the first day that I met my divine partner. And that he's the only one that's happened to. And every time he comes around, anytime that I have been in close proximity to him, and there was one time before I left my karmic that I did run into him, but we couldn't say anything to each other. And we had slightly locked eyes in peripheral, and my whole intuition lit up like a light bulb, right? Like something had flicked on. And that's the only time that happens is when he's around. So I know. And that's exactly what I felt that night in July last year. And I'm looking around and I can't find anybody. So then I'm like, what is going on? Like I feel him, and something's just like, stop. Like, stop. And I'm like, I stopped, but then it's like, okay, I kept going. I start to walk again. Before I get to the bottom, like the end of the block, I hear my name called again by the voice. And I feel the thing, and I turn around to look because I'm trying to find where this is coming from. But I see this man walking forward to me. One of the sanitation workers is walking forward to me, and it looks like he's coming towards me. But I can't see. I don't know. And a woman outside at night, and a man's coming towards him. I mean, clearly. First thing you're going to do is, I'm getting the fuck out of here because I don't know what's fucking going on. And I'm not going to be able to fight right now. You know what I mean? I don't know who this is, but like I still felt the feeling. But there was this guy coming to me, and he wasn't ugly, but again, I'm still partially blind. But I was afraid, and it didn't sound like my ex, because my ex's voice is a little nasally. This one was more deep. But then I turned around and I left. But I still kept looking back, like, what is going on? Like, I'm feeling it, and it's like I just keep getting this feeling that kept pulling me back. Like, I kept feeling like as if like the invisible string, somebody's yank you back, like, hold on, like, back there, right? My eyes switching as a confirmation. But I kept walking, and I wrote about it in my journal, and I said, I swore I felt like it was him, right? And my eyes twitching. So yeah, they're like, it was. Now here comes into where the falsy comes in. So I'm here, and it's a few months later, and I'm still trying to find him, and I can't fucking find him for the life of me on any of the social medias past Facebook. But who uses Facebook anymore like that? I don't know. And you know, I think he shut down his Facebook for a little bit. Who knows? So, I'm on Instagram, and I'm trying to look, and I see one of his old friends, and I see a picture of him on one of his old friends, you know, profile, but it's from 2022, so it's like outdated, and you know, if you ask me what I was going through in 2022, I do not look like how I look like now in 2022. The stress, right? So he could look completely different now. And, you know, pictures are subjective, depending on what energy is taking the picture and what energy is being portrayed at that moment the picture is being taken. I'm a photographer, but this is another reason why I love photography, because you capture people's souls. Anyways, so I start looking, but I'm not sure what I'm trying to find. So I said, you know what, let me just ixnay it. Somehow I come across this other page, and there's this guy, but the guy favors my person. I thought it was him, and I was like, but something was like, just do it. And I'm like, is it? Picture as far as a little blur. It's all these different things. But you know what? I friend it, and the person, you know, follows me back real quick, and I'm like, shit, that was fast, but it looks like my person. Now, I know my person has it. He has a kid. To my recollection, he has a kid. And I found out from a random other person, and that's a story in itself. So I had forgot about it. I put it in the back of my head because I was going through everything that I was going through with the karmic. So I completely, like, I forgot. I made myself forget. But I see this guy has kids, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. But I think it's him, and it looks like him. The kid looks like kind of similar to how my person looked like when we were younger. Again, like, when we met, we were in our early 20s. You know, my person was like 19 going on 20, because me and him, our birthdays are in the same month. Both our birthdays in September. I'm just at the beginning of September. He's like towards the ending of September, middle to end, right? Because he's a Libra. And he looks like the kid looks like how, you know, my person looked back then, right? So then I said, this got to be him. It clicked around Christmas. I was like, oh shit, it's him. I'm freaking out. I'm happy. I'm all these different emotions. But the person's not talking to me. He's just following me. I'm like, okay, fine. Maybe you need some time. I send him a hey message. Nothing. Falls on deaf ears. All right, fine. Then comes, like the person's religiously watching my stories. I'm like, you're watching my stories like nobody's business. What is going on here? Okay, fine. Maybe you're just trying to get some intel. Maybe I'm like thinking, you know, that my partner's trying to get some intel. Fine. But he's not saying anything. So I'm like, this is weird. So then time goes by, right? I'm talking about months go by, and this is happening. I get the inkling from my guides, why don't you make a video? Get back into making videos, explaining your spiritual journeys, explaining your journey with your karmic, how you got to this point where you are, like, do it, right? Now, the universe works in mysterious ways. I know now that the universe wanted me to do this because this is part of my calling. And your divine partner, this is key, your divine partner will have you in your calling, will support you in your calling, will push you to your calling. They won't make you run away from it. My ex, the karmic confirmation, he took me away from my purpose, right? So I was like, you're right, fine. So that's where all these videos started coming from. It was to speak to him indirectly. Now this person, the falsie, was watching them because I thought it was my divine partner, but the falsie was watching them, all of them, and I'm like, what is going on? But he's not saying anything. Mind you, I'm saying everything that, you know, everything that happened to me, everything that I went through, all of it. Like, you guys seen the majority of it, but the nitty gritty, like, and still nothing, silence. It didn't click to me then, but it clicked to me today, and this is why this video is here. And it took me a minute to understand. I just thought, like, okay, maybe he's scared, because I am pretty intimidating for the majority of the part, right? If you, whatever. But I'm like, why is he not saying anything? And it was pissing me off. Because I'm like, yo, like, I'm pouring my heart out right now. I even confessed my feelings after all of it, you know what I mean? I confessed all of it, right? And still nothing. However, energetically, I felt like he already knew. But it's like, how? So it took a while, and I just realized, I was like, I'm getting really anxious. That's not supposed to happen with your person, especially if both of y'all have healed. I'm getting really anxious. I'm getting really, like, antsy. I'm getting really like, oh my God, what's going on? Now, yes, I'm traumatized from the last relationship, but it should flow. easily. And that's how it was when I first met my person. It just flowed easily. Yes, I'm not saying I wasn't nervous, because I was like, oh my God, like, he's really cute, or oh my God, like, oh my gosh, you know, like, I really like this guy. But there still was this sense of calmness and this ease. That's how it's supposed to be. I'm not, you know, you're not supposed to be like, "Arr." If it is, check it, please. So I'm feeling like this. Now, while all this is happening, I'm still getting energetically stalked by my ex. He's sending me all these different things. Mind you, that white butterfly, the ancestors are super close. You know, like, I had saw him in August. I told him I wanted nothing to do with him. I, you know, did everything, all these other side missions, that the universe had me on. And I'm like, leave me alone. Now, we're fast forward until now, because this stems months. I mean, you know, it's up until the day before yesterday, it's been 9 months of this shit, you know. And so at some point I kind of was just like, half of me was like, you know what, I should just let it go. It would feel better to just let this shit go, you know what I mean? But it felt in a different way. But I was like, why? Because other things as well too, like, you know, the karmic was, I don't want to spend more time on him, but, you know, they don't want you to be happy. In layman's terms, we'll have a separate conversation on that in another video about the evil eye and all that stuff. So after just being like completely annoyed at this whole situation, the day before yesterday, I was like, you know what? I gotta put my foot down, because the karmic is fucking insane. He's a narcissist, and he's manipulative. It's all these different things. Like I could feel all the things that were being thrown at me. Like, I can't, and I don't want this shit anymore. I have to put my foot down. I have to tell him, leave me the fuck alone. Otherwise, maybe he won't get it. More confirmation. But then I said, you know what? If I open up that can of worms, it's going to be the worst thing I ever did for my fucking self, going directly to him. And so I said, you know what? I'm just going to have to go to his friend. Should I have incorporated her in this? In hindsight, no. But it was needed. It was needed, because I know in this situation I needed to be a filter. And he would most likely listen to her. And I haven't talked to her in a while. So I wasn't sure how this was going to go. I kind of blocked her off and everything like that. We went ghost for a while. She wasn't sure what happened, but hey. So I sent her a voice note telling her, listen, can you tell him X, Y, and Z, because I can feel him. I know he's doing this and that. He's doing all these things. Like, tell him to leave me alone. In short, I'm shortening this, right? And she goes, because she had sent me something on Instagram, and I was like, what's going on? I thought, you know, maybe the ex is trying to get to me through her, like, you know, because again, like, given everything that I went through, I'm like really cautious. I'm really like wary, like, what's going on here, right? So and what she had sent, like, it kind of clicked. I said, what? Because it had something with Oshun in it and photography and everything like that. I was like, whoa, what's going on? But I wasn't sure if it was her or if it was his doing or what it was, so I left it alone. But after I told her everything that was happening, she was like, girl, like, I completely understand. I didn't know that he was still, like, bothering you and everything like that. Like, he could be a lot. Like, what is going on here, right? So afterwards, she says, you know, we got a mutual on IG. It's really strange. Like, how do you know him, this person? She's talking about the falsie. So I'm still thinking it's my person, but like, I'm like, I just said, something just said, be honest. And I told her my feelings, and I told her, I was like, yeah, confirm the name, this and that. And then she goes, she breaks the mirror. She goes, I don't know anybody by that name. This person's name is this. And I said, what? I was like, no, this is this person. She's like, no, this is this person. Long story short, we're having this whole conversation, trying to confirm everything, and she's like, it's not. It's not. It wasn't my person. But they looked pretty similar, and I got fooled. I got fooled. Now, I know it looks like, oh, well, how could you get fooled? Hey, the universe will put a blindfold over your eyes for a certain amount of time so that you can learn a fucking lesson. And this is the lesson that I had to learn. You usually, when everybody else, you look up, twin flames or divine partnerships, whatever, they'll tell you, you'll have this false person before your actual person comes in. To kind of like test the waters or whatever. See if you're truly ready. And that's what this person was. That's what this person was. And it didn't click until I was getting ready today because, the Orisha's asked me to do something. So we're here. But it didn't click to me until I was getting ready to head out today. And what was told to me was, Autumn, your person is the male version of you. Even though there are things that are different between you two, there is more similarities than you actually are aware of that you will get to know when you are finally in front of each other. But just go off of the similarities. Just go off the similarities that you guys have had in common when y'all first met all those years ago. I Twitch confirmation. And then look at yourself. They're evenly matched. Your person is evenly matched with you. You pour your heart. If someone pours their heart out to you and says you directly, your name and everything. My eyes twitch. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is a confirmation right now. Right? That's how my body's intuition lets me know. One of the ways. If someone pours their heart out to you, whether you want anything to do with them or not, at some point, wouldn't you respond? After all the conversations that you've had with your divine partner in the short amount of time that you had all those years ago, and you guys have talked about some of the dark-ish shit that you guys have been through at that time, and his reactions were like, nah, I would have, oh wait, hold on, like there, and you do this now and this person says nothing, silent, but still watching you, but says nothing. Your person would have said something already. Your person would have said something already. As soon as you mentioned any of the heinous things, especially the toxic and abusive things that your ex has done to you, your person would have said something already. Your person would have said something already. He wouldn't have been quiet. When someone cares about you, they would say something. Your person in these 9 months, even if he was scared shitless, he would have at least liked some of your posts, some of your pictures. Any way to find a little way to get in, to have a conversation. That's what you would have done. That's what you did. And nothing? So it wasn't to make you look stupid, like this is what the universe is telling me. It's not to make you look stupid, it's to let you know that your person, you send out a distress signal, they will answer. because your person doesn't want to see you upset. Your person doesn't want to see you hurt. Your person hates the fact that X, Y, and Z happened to you before, because you know as soon as he tells you what he's been through, that will trigger you to be like, hell fucking no. Why would you go through something like that? Why would you? Oh my God, who would treat you like that? Why would you treat yourself like that? There would be some form of communication, whether scared or not, because you pushed through that. That is not your person. That was a falsie. Now, don't get upset. Like, this is what they're telling me. They're like, don't get upset, because this was to show you and to show us that no matter what, you're still willing to push past your fear from what you've been through with the ex, with the karmic. You're still willing to push past that fear and love someone, love yourself, love unconditionally, be honest with someone. All these things, you're still willing to do that unconditionally. So you're ready. Confirmation yawn. So you're ready. So when the old mutual between me and the ex, right, mind you, she used to live next door and everything like that. So I mean, I've had time with her, you know what I mean? So it's not like just like a acquaintance. Like I've had time with her. I know her, you know what I mean? When she said that to me, she was like, she's not really into like spiritualists and spirituality, right? But she said, you know what, Autumn, you got to look at it this way. I'm not really into all that stuff, but honestly, looking at what we just talked about and how this just happened, and we hadn't talked in mad long, I think the universe is telling you, you need to go look for him. You need to go find him. It brought us back together, because honestly, regardless of my ex and the friendship I have with your ex, I have a friendship with you. You didn't deserve him. You didn't deserve all the shit that you went through. But you know, like, there's only but so much that I can do. I didn't want to look like a fucking hater or anything like that. But like, no, you shouldn't have been with him. You deserve much better. And clearly, you have a crazy sweet tooth for this person. This happened for a reason. And then I talked to her. I said, you know what? Yes, it did. It had to shatter this. And my initial thought was to be distraught, because I was. But at the same time, I was happy, because something in me knew that now I can finally I could finally receive this person again, my divine partner again. I could finally receive him, you know, and I felt him around. But then I was thinking, I was like, the sanitation department is mass. I don't know what the fuck that was, but confirmation. Mike, it's mass. It's mass. I'm in New York. New York City. There's multiple boroughs. The boroughs are huge. It's not like one little thing. Each borough has their own sanitation sector. Manhattan, the Bronx, this and that, like Queens, Long Island City, you know, like they all, like even the state has their own sanitation. Who's to say that it wasn't? Because the falsie had the same job. That's what really like confused me. Because I'm a Virgo, so putting the patterns together. So that's the stages of the reuniting with your divine person, right? Your divine partner. You know, do I know what's gonna happen next? Yes and no. But there's a part of me now, I don't know how long this is gonna be, But I feel like that broke, not only because right now for me, at least in my journey, love and money are connected, right? And it's funny because I met my divine partner at one of my old jobs. So it's fitting to have it connected in that way. Who knows at this point? But I feel like that moment needed to happen because it broke an illusion. It opened a door and it closed another one indefinitely. Right? Eye confirmation, Twitch. So right now, though part of me is like, go look, go look, go look. The other half is like, he's gonna find you. Let him come find you. Like the door is wide open now, and the siren song, if you will. You heard that? You heard the horn outside? Has already been sent out so he can get lured back into where he belongs, which is here with me. Oh my God. Come on home. Come on home. Come on home, little baby. Come on home. The eye is switching like crazy. This is huge confirmation. You know what I mean? Right? But it needed to happen. So again, the universe will do these things, and the way that you know that you have done so much healing, that you have reached a very, very special height, if you will, in your journey, is when these fucking things happen, and they old you would sit there and like spiral for X amount of time. I'm not gonna say I didn't spiral. I spiraled. I'm at the end of the spiraling, but the spiraling looked different because automatically when I was just like, oh my God, I feel so stupid, like with the quickness, myself said, no, you're not stupid. You're not stupid. This needed to happen. You needed to prove something to yourself. Everything's okay. Everything's okay. So I was able to hear that side and still just do and be what I needed to be and do. And you can too. And you can too for the price of $5.99. So here we are. Don't give up on this journey. But listen to yourself. Listen to your spirit team. I know there's a bunch of different tarot readers and mediums on the web, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok. And some of them do be right. Some of them have a point. But again, who they're speaking to, the audience is so wide and vast. So there's multiple different strands of timelines and journeys that are happening simultaneously as they're getting these messages. It's different if you're going to a medium, to a psychic, one-on-one, because now they're picking up on your energy one-on-one. If you read for yourself, trust yourself. It can be hard sometimes, especially if you've been fine-tuned to not trust yourself. You know, my last relationship with the karmic, the ex, the narcissist, he trained me to gaslight my own self so that he didn't have to do it anymore, so that he could tell me a lie, manipulate me, and I believe it, and then even fight with my own self and say, that's not true what you're thinking about. I know that's intuition, but it's not. You're wrong. He would never. You know what I mean? Eye confirmation right now. Took me a while to get here. I'm glad I'm here. You know what I mean? You will get here too if you're not here already. But hopefully this is a confirmation for you. This is how this works. But you have to trust yourself. There's so many different distractions out there, especially right now. We're in the age of Aquarius, so truth must be told. So they put out so many distractions, born as a confirmation. They put out so many distractions so that you would, the truth seems so far-fetched that you have to think it's a lie. And it's not. And this is where you need to get in touch with yourself, get in touch with your spirit team. It's imperative. It's imperative. And if you want to watch those readings, that's fine. If you're not a reader on your own, you don't do readings. I do readings myself. You know what I mean? But if you need that help, it's okay. But ask your spirit team to guide you to the right one so you get the right messages. And you're not just getting these love messages because the tarot readers only know how to do love messages and they don't read anything else. A real medium, a real tarot reader will read everything, not just love. Okay? Keep that in mind. Trust yourself. Trust your spirit team. Open your ears. If you're clogged up with energy, do energy cleanses. You know what I mean? Sweat it out. Get Reiki. Please get Reiki. As a Reiki practitioner, it helps. It helped me so much. I wouldn't be here without Reiki. Constantly burning up my energy and helping me clear things out and understand and trigger my gifts and all these things. But you need to trust in yourself, which means you need to create a relationship with yourself. And that's what these people are talking about. Love yourself first. It sounds fucked up. And yes, when a person who just wants to be loved hears that, it's like, oh, but I think they need to rephrase it. And I'm going to rephrase it. Create a relationship with yourself. Establish a relationship with yourself and your spiritual team. That way, when these messages come in, you know where they're coming from. And they're not coming from anxiety, and they're not coming from depression, and they're not coming from paranoia, and they're not coming from past programming. They're coming from your higher up. Whatever you want to call it. God, Buddha, whoever. The Orishas, the Loas, whatever. You'll know where it's coming from because now you have a relationship with yourself. Even if you're just talking to your higher self, a future version of yourself, because you can come back. Your future self can talk to your past self. I have done it. Through Reiki. But do this. Create this relationship with yourself. A friendship with yourself. In layman's terms. That'll get you closer. Just create a relationship with yourself so you can hear the messages. Now we'll have some more other videos because clearly this is my calling, and I hope to one of these days have my divine partner introduce you to him and have him tell his story as well too, so you can see the male version or just another version of how you get to hear, right? I look forward to continuing this journey with you guys. Happy solar eclipse eve. And I look forward to hearing amazing stories of your manifestations and your gifts and your blessings finally coming in. We just finished Lugnasa for all you Wiccans out there. It's harvest time. And my eyes twitchy, so that's a big confirmation. It's harvest time. So happy harvest, happy eclipse, solar eclipse eve, and I will bring you another story time when the audiences are like, go out there, because I need time to process this shit too. Anyways, love you guys. This is Energy signing out. Bye.